Take a Seat with
Keisha
and Candace. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for all of the prayers and the well wishes and all the positive vibes. As you know, if you've been following us, we unfortunately wasn't able to come on last week because it was a man down. So I am back up, and I am healed in Jesus' name. So we are going to move in right into it with our topic for today, which is career failures, with our Letting Go and Moving Forward series. So we're going to cover how these things can interfere with our anti-superwoman mentality and the solutions on how to overcome them. Now we're going to go into the type of career setbacks that we experience as women. One is leadership roles. We get overlooked for our promotions. We get labeled too emotional or too aggressive to handle our leadership roles. We take on responsibilities of a leadership role and then we never receive the title or the pay. We hit these glass ceilings in a workplace, which we are never given the opportunity to move past that current position that we're in. And also, we get the comparisons against our male counterparts.
That's right.
Next is motherhood. So some of the things that we experience with motherhood is waiting to start a family due to the fear of losing a job or that job promotion, having to leave our baby sooner to return back to work, and then an increase in expenses such as childcare, transportation, or health care.
Number 3, sexual harassment. Harassment in a workplace involving unwanted sexual advances or obscene remarks. Those are things that we experience as women.
Now, entrepreneurship, which is close to my heart, we experience lack of mentorship or support to get our businesses off the ground. Lack of finances to keep the business functioning, and lastly, lack of exposure to reach that clientele or customer that we are dying to get our information out to.
How do these things manifest in our emotions when we're trying to keep this anti-superwoman mentality, right?
Yes.
Well, how does it make us feel? Inadequate?
Absolutely.
Worthless? Insecure? Pressured?
Yes.
Unworthy? Pressure to do more, of course. And then we feel as if, we have to overcompensate, to make ourselves feel like, oh, we're doing it and we're meeting expectations. We overcompensate. We feel cheated. We feel guilty. We feel shameful.
Yes.
And in some instances, we feel angry. And those are the feelings that are going through our bodies, our minds, our emotions, because we feel like we're not doing what we want to do.
Right.
We feel like failures.
Now that we have went over the different types of career setbacks that we experience as women, as well as how it affects us emotionally, we're going to go into the best part, which is the solutions. So our solutions for this today is to reset and recharge. One more time. Reset and recharge. So with reset, what that means is you're resetting your mind to be able to figure out the solutions on how to overcome this problem. That's part of the letting go. You want to mentally get there so you can then recharge, which is physically putting into action what you mentally have came up with as a solution to overcome this problem. That is the moving forward. Now, I'm going to go into my personal testimony about how I was able to overcome my career setback, which was focused on motherhood. Back in 2013, I was working for an awesome social service agency. Everything was going amazing, to be honest. At the time, I was, just to list my roles, wife, I was a mother of 2. I was doing my master's degree full-time, as well as I was working full-time as a housing case manager. And then while I was working on my master's degree, I had the opportunity to be able to do an internship. And so I had a lot of stuff on my plate, but I was able to do it with no problem at the time. And so moving forward from that, things started to get a little tricky because in January of 2013, 2 surprises happened. The first surprise was that my job actually approved for me to do the internship, which had never happened in the history of the agency, which I was extremely ecstatic about. Then I found out I was pregnant with my 3rd child. So getting those 2 surprises at the same time really kind of took me for a blow. I was a little bit off track. I really didn't know how I was going to do all of this, but trying to be that superwoman, I felt I could do it all. So as February came and March came, unfortunately, with my first 2 pregnancies, I was extremely sick. And then I was thinking, oh, this third pregnancy, it's going to be completely different. I'm going to be able to handle it with no problem, not going to be sick.
We try and psych ourselves up, right?
Yes.
Like, everything's going to be fine, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, it's nothing wrong with being positive, but we always have to prepare.
It's going to be amazing. I'm just going to push that magic wand or swing that magic wand. Everything's going to be great.
Yeah.
March comes and I get extremely sick. So at this time, this is when the hiccups and the challenges started happening. I had to miss work. My doctor put me on bed rest for like 2 or 3 weeks. My internship, I wasn't able to complete that the way that I thought in my head I was going to do. So I had to take a break from that. And then fast forwarding to May, my employer gives me a call and says, wow, we love you and you're an amazing worker. You hit all your numbers. You are an overachiever. Your clients love you. We are going to let you go. So they gave me all these compliments and how amazing I was, pumped me up. I thought they was actually going to say, hey, we're going to keep your job until you have that baby. You're going to be great. The complete opposite. I got let go from my position. At this point, I was devastated. Yeah. I was like, now we're going down to 1 income. We have a new baby on the way. Our bills in our home at the time was skyrocketing. We didn't know what we were going to do.
So you had to reset at this point.
At this point, this is when the solutions had to come in. I had to reset and recharge. So in the reset process, what I did was I had to think about, what can I control? What can I control? What can I do to be able to find a solution to this problem that I'm able to do, and it doesn't have to do with anybody else? And so the things that I came up with was finishing my master's degree, talking to my advisors and thinking about what can I ask them to see how I can switch up classes and stuff to continue to finish. Then I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to have my own business. I said, well, I'm going to have a master's degree so I can be a business owner. I can own my own coaching service if I wanted to. And so I started thinking about the process with that. What do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? What information I need to find? That was my reset. My recharge was putting it into action. I had to actually talk to my advisors, which I was able to get my degree change from marriage and family therapy to multidisciplinary of human services, a master's of science in that. And that way I was able to take online classes. So I was able to stay at home with my babies as well as get my master's degree, which I always wanted. Then I started to do my research. I started to look up, how do I get an LLC? What names are available for my business? How much startup money do I need to start my business? And I was putting into action the things that I thought of to be able to overcome that solution. And with that, fast forwarding now, 3 years later, I have my own business.
Okay, so in the workplace, for my experience, I did have some setbacks and minor setbacks when it came to myself, when I became a mother. For one example, I had twins at home and I was pregnant with my third, and I was really looking for more opportunities.
Bless Jesus.
I was looking for opportunities at my company, and it was very difficult because I felt I did go out on some interviews. I felt uncomfortable, showing that I was pregnant.
Had to do
exactly.
That whole big sweater.
And I'm like, oh, you know what? They're
Put
gonna
the coat
think.
over the belly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh man, they're gonna think, oh, we can't hire her. She's gonna be out on maternity leave or whatever. So that kind of held me back from really going hard into going in for different opportunities. So for me, I actually interviewed with my boss, had a meeting with him, and was like, I think it's time for me to get a promotion. And I gave him all of my steps. I guess this was my reset.
This
is my reset. I figured out, okay, I need to do something that's going to help me meet my goals.
Right.
I want to get a different job.
Correct.
I want to make more money. I want to have different responsibilities.
Right.
So I talked to my boss about that. And he was like, what do you do now? And I had it all laid out. Right. And I'm like, this is how much someone in my role gets paid, and this is how much I am trying to get to.
Now talk about that difference.
It was a huge difference. When I looked up other companies that were at our level, I felt like I was getting the shorter end of the stick.
Yep.
And I didn't understand why, because I knew that, like, I had the experience, I had the degree, I came in prepared. My performance reviews were all great.
Correct.
So I felt like I did at some point need a higher pay increase.
Correct.
And what I had to do was do my research and bring it to the table and show my boss.
And recharge.
Yeah, so when I brought it to my boss, bam, he was just like, okay, I'll see what I can do. And, he made it happen.
He did.
And I feel like that was a very positive way that I did. I didn't, feel like, oh, I'm quitting, this job is no good. And then, or I didn't really complain as much as I could have.
Right.
I just was like, what can I do? Or look at my circumstance, exactly, and give up. That's what I did not do. I was like, that's not an option. So I fought for it. And I got that pay increase that I wanted. And then there are other situations and a lot of women experience, and I've experienced this before too, being in the workplace, especially if you're like the only woman or maybe the youngest person in your group. Yes. You have to deal with things like sexual harassment.
Yes.
Or things like, we didn't really mention it, but being, we were talking about this earlier. About being younger, and then you have to like deal or lead older people who don't exactly respect your perspective, opinions, expertise, advice, or ideas, because you're younger and your experience and their mindset are, is not up to par where theirs is, because you don't have the gray hairs to go with it. So that was also a struggle in the workplace. It's like I always had to prove myself capable of being in that position or having that title that I had. So that's something too. I'm sure men experience that too, but I know as women we experience that a lot, because it's like, oh, that young girl, no, I'm in this position for a reason. I didn't get this because I'm young.
I earned this position.
Yeah,
I wasn't given this position.
So that's something that, yes, is a struggle in the workplace. But yeah, how you overcome that is definitely, it's a mind thing, You have to focus on the positive. Focus on the solutions. Like, how do I need to communicate? What do I need to share with people? A lot of times we share a lot of our lives at work, and it's like, sometimes the people at work don't need to know all your business.
No.
So those are different ways that we have to, part of our reset and recharge is our actions and things that we do. That might bring on the failures or the uncomfortable situations.
Right. So, at the end of the day, these are solutions that are simple for you to apply. And while they may be a little challenging at first, once you work actively at it, there you will see the difference. A lot of times we underestimate, again, and I say this all the time, the simple things that we need to do to kind of reach those bigger goals and reach those next levels, or to just overcome our challenges. And when you think about just changing your mindset, that is huge.
It is.
It plays a huge part into you overcoming that situation. And then once you put it to action, there's no stopping.
That's right.
So just make sure that when you are encountering these things, because if you haven't, you will. You will.
My mom always said, keep on living.
Keep on living. That's right. You will. This is something that's simple for you to do, to be able to help you, as Keisha said, focus on the solution and not the problem, because every day we endure with different challenges, different situations that we can't control. But if we take control of what we can
control, exactly,
there's no stopping us.
That's right. And I want to add too, we're wrapping it up, but with the sexual harassment, if you have been sexual harassed, even if it's even like, oh, that's just flirting or that's just friendly, no, you need to report it.
Correct.
Report it. We have seen that in the news lately. People are coming out with things that happened 10, 20 years ago.
Huge. Yes.
I know what hold women back. They're afraid they're going to lose their job. They're afraid they're going to be labeled as this homewrecker or something like that because they reported something that wasn't right.
Right.
And that's simply what you're doing. If you have been harassed or approached inappropriately, please report it. Okay? Don't hold on to it. That's something that I wish in my experience is that I had said something because maybe that one situation that I was in could have prevented another one that happens in the future.
Correct. And also too, with the Me Too movement, it has allowed for us to empower each other.
That's right.
And so if you know someone that has went through this or you're going through it on your own, you're not alone. And so now this has opened up a whole new space to where we can be able to say our truth and we can be able to receive the support that we need to be able to move forward past it, because as we know that it's not easy, it's now, you have now the resources to be able to help you a lot more than 10 or 20 years ago.
That's right.
And so please proceed and do it. Please report and know that we got your back.
That's right. We're going to wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
So if you don't remember anything from today, remember, reset
and
recharge. Okay? To prepare and change your mindset to help you get through these challenges. And then I want to give a shout out to Michael Pearson, SS Media, for making this shirt. This was my birthday shirt, y'all. I turned 33 like a So thank you for all the birthday wishes.
Yay!
And we want to encourage you guys, have a wonderful week, and we will see y'all
week
next time as we continue the letting go and
moving forward.
I'm Keisha.
I'm Keisha.
I'm Candace.
This is ASL, and your efforts are enough.